Welcome to yet another episode of Success Principles by Successful Principles. My name is Kamalneet Singh, a TEDx speaker, an author, and a mindset coach. Now, they say that right across the world, right across the whole globe, right from manufacturing a small, tiny pin to a gigantic plane, there is a degree for about just everything. But when it comes to parenting, there is a lot of hit and trial that happens. Now, there is nothing wrong with hit and trial. The only thing is that sometimes we end up making some damages that, even if we want to reverse them, we're not really able to. And that is why we bring you this series called Success Principles by Successful Principles, wherein educators from different parts of the country, educators from different parts of the world, they come together and they share their rich experience with you so that you can cherish the most beautiful relationship, that's the parent-child relationship, and you can make the best use of it. And any parent watching this, I can probably see through and tell you something about you. As a parent, you would want your kids to be happy, successful, and good human beings. There is no secret about it. Just about every parent wants the same. But how do we really go about this? How do we really go about raising our kids in such a way that when they grow up, they really make a difference? And that's what this series is all about. And I'm extremely excited about the fact that we have a very, very, very special guest with us on the show today. And what happens is when you learn from, there are two ways of learning things. They say that you can make all mistakes by yourself, or you can learn from the experience of others, and you can probably avoid making a few mistakes that makes your journey slightly better. And on this show today, we have somebody whose inputs will definitely make a difference to your ideas of parenting, your perspective. And the only thing that I would rather say is that, you must have a pen and a paper so that if you find something which is very close to you, you don't want to miss that, because my promise to you is that you will have a lot of nuggets coming your way. Now it's on you to take notes and ensure that they stay with you. Now, you would be waiting that who do we have on the show today? Let me introduce you to the guest on the show. We have Ms. Sunita Nagpal, Principal, KR Mangalam World School, Gurugram, as a guest with us on the show today. Madam, thank you very much. And it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to have you with us on the show. Now, before we dive into the conversation, I would want parents like you to have a little idea about what our guest has in terms of experience, who is our guest, and what is the kind of work that she has done all these years. So Madam has been very well known in Delhi NCR's education circuit. She's the recipient of FACE International Women Leadership Award 2017, with 3 decades of experience as an educator, of which 24 years, almost 2.5 decades were spent in BPS schools. She has, to her credit, a vast range of teaching and administrative experience. I was talking to her and I got to know that she's taught kids right from the age 8 to 18, the full range. And she has 12 years of rich experience in administration. She has been a teacher trainer, somebody who trains the teachers. She's been training teachers in the art of teaching, activity-based learning, and has even co-authored a manual on enhancing listening and speaking skills in children. Ms. Nagpal is a postgraduate in English literature, an alumnus of Lady Shri Ram College for Women. She firmly believes that both the teacher and the parents have a common goal and partner in molding a child. She firmly believes that together, teamwork makes the dream work, and together a parent and the teacher, a parent and the school can make a huge difference. Madam, welcome once again to the show, and we're really looking forward to this conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We started this conversation and I said that, just about all the parents have this common goal that they want their kids to be successful, happy, and good human beings. Now, I want to begin right from there. Success is a very broad term. It can mean different things to different people. Now, as a school principal, you have almost 3 decades, sitting on 3 decades of experience. I'm very curious to know, and I'm sure the parents would equally be curious to know, what is your definition of success? How would you define it?
Kamalneet, you actually made my job very easy here with this question by starting with saying that every parent wants their child to be happy, to be successful, to be a good human being. So although I claim to be dyscalculic, I'm using a mathematical equation here. Success is equal to happiness plus being a good human. All right. And so I firmly believe success is not measured in terms of your bank balance. Never. Never is it measured in terms of what positions you have arrived at in life. I think success is always measured in terms of how happy you are, wherever you are, in whatever job you are, in whatever role you are. So let's say if you take your professional life and you're doing something that you hate and you're not happy, you will never consider yourself successful, even if you have the tag of a CEO attached to it.
Very powerful.
If we talk about a role in life, who is a successful sister? The one who loves her brother, cares for her brother. Who is a successful mother? The one who has raised happy children. All right. And who is a successful teacher? Somebody when enters the class, the children love it and they don't want to bunk that class. All right. So success is always measured in terms of the happiness quotient attached, whether the happiness is happiness to you or happiness around you. All right. So as a family man, if your family is happy, you are successful as the dad of the house. All right. And likewise, every role that you play, whether professionally or personally, I think success is equal to happiness plus good human being. So everyone, like you said, wants to raise good human beings. And I think that spells success.
All the parents out there, I think with your pen and your notepads in hand, I think the equation would have gone down on the page by now. And I think this is, I'm glad you really brought this up. All the parents out there, जो सारा दिन marks के पीछे भागते हैं, right? Just on a very lighter note. But I think it's a very deep message out there that success means, happiness at the core level, right? And if I really like what you said, that no matter where have you arrived, what position do you sit on, or what you are really doing in life, if you're not happy, you're not really considered as successful. I think all the parents out there, a deeper message that's arising out of the conversation is that happiness for your kids is something which is very, very crucial. So maybe I think it's time that we really ask as parents that, are my kids happy? I think that's a reflective one that I'm leaving on to you to ponder over. But I don't know, all the parents want, we have been talking about success and being successful. All parents want their kids to be successful. Now, in your understanding, what makes a child successful in the real life? What would make a child successful in the real life?
So let's first define real life.
Yeah.
All right. Every parent imagines what their child's life is going to be like. So when you begin to imagine, you are actually hypothesizing, and you are imagining that my child is going to be rich, my child is going to be, famous, my child is going to be liked by everybody. And that's what is my aim and ambition in life. Every parent wants that. What is real life? Real life out there is not all hunky-dory. Real life out there is not all about everybody having everything. There is if you look at real life and society at large, it's full of diversities. It's full of diversity. So I'm only using very euphemistic words here. By diversities, I mean the rich and the poor, the intelligent and the not so intelligent, the cunning and the not so cunning, the go-getters and the not go-getters, the laid-back people. So life, real life, is full of all kinds. And so your question, coming to your question, was that
What makes a child successful in the real life? And I'm glad you defined real life, because that gives a very good context to the whole understanding.
Yeah. So now, to make them successful in real life, coming to your question, you need to equip them such that they are going to be considering themselves successful, going back to being happy.
Yeah.
All right. So your child, who will be an adult someday, should be a happy person, should be a good human being. And what do you do for that? You make sure that you are preparing grounds.
Right.
So let me give you an example or a metaphor of cooking. Yeah. You want to make a nice, good fulka, a one that's going to puff up.
Right.
Unless you need a good dough, you are not going to get a good fulka. The dough has to rest also for some time. Otherwise, you'll have very frayed edges. And that's what you're doing with your children. So you're preparing the dough of life so that they are going to be successful later.
That's a beautiful example, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. Because any of you try making your rotis with fresh gundoed atta, you're not going to be successful at all with that roti. So
I think probably all the couples watching together, I'm probably thinking that whosoever is making the rotis, the other spouse is pointing out by now that it's the dough you need to take care of.
True. So it boils down to happiness, Kamalneet. I'm so sorry for repeating myself, but I can't think of any other definition of happiness and any other mantra for happiness or success.
No, in fact, I think you have reinforced that point very beautifully. And all the parents out there, if you hear a principal speaking about happiness multiple times and giving you different dimensions to look at it as a parameter for success and being successful, I think that should drive the point home, right? And I'm very sure that the parents would understand that it is so important. That's how the conversation around happiness is building up. Now, all these years, very rich experience you sit on, 3 odd decades. You have literally, met thousands of parents, literally, and it's only in your work profile that you get to meet so many parents. Now, whether we like it or not, the truth is that there are patterns at times that parents have which are not very supportive for the kids. So what are some patterns that you have observed, having met parents all these years, which are not very supportive? And the idea to ask this is that if parents can realize that while in my head there was nothing wrong with that, but yes, it can be non-supportive. So that's the idea.
Okay, so I do have a couple of things here to point out, and I'm so sorry. Parents should not take it as, just pointing out the errors in parenting. It's not that. Like Kamalneet, you started off by saying there's no Bible, no journal for parenting, and you are just dumped out there mid-ocean, and you have to swim the sea called parenting. And so let me tell you that one has learned not just from seeing the thousands of parents that I have, but also from being a parent myself. All right. And one learns that it's very, very, very crucial not to be shaming your child ever. Not to being very, very judgmental. Don't name and shame a child ever. Which child does not make errors and learn from it? Talk about your own self. As a child, didn't you try sneaking a puff sometime? So if your child has experimented with that, the heavens have not fallen. Learn from it, forgive, move on. Now, increasingly what one is seeing, despite the fact that so much of counseling is going on everywhere, we have parents who have very, very high expectations from their child. And so when one little mistake happens, which is only too natural, by the way, otherwise your child will be unnatural. Let me tell you, if your child doesn't make any mistakes, then there's something unusual. I won't like to say the word abnormal, but it's slightly unusual that your child has never made a mistake, has never lied to you, has never tried to sneak in something or sneak out something from the house. So that's very unusual, or rather abnormal also, if I may take the liberty of saying that. So never shame, blame, or name a child. Don't label your child. Rather, look at the goods, the pluses that your child has. Every human being has the good and the bad in him or her. And it would be wonderful in their growing years if you take the good to another level and praise your child. You know, the self-worth of the child goes up. And self-worth and self-esteem is a very, very strong prop in a child's life. And it's going to hold him or her in good stead right through if you've managed to build that self-worth in the child. And I feel a parent can be very supportive if the parent makes an effort to do that. And that doesn't mean that you have to lie and cook up a praise over there.
Right.
If your child has made his or her bed, I think that calls for a lot of praise, because 90% of children don't clean up their messes. All right. And you're largely to blame parents for that, because when they're little children, maybe 2 years old or 3 years old, and they're playing with their blocks on the floor, and suddenly your friend is coming and arriving, and you've got a call, friend is coming, you go around bending backwards, forwards, picking up all those blocks, packing them away, neatening up, puffing up the cushions. House should look spick and span because my friend is coming. I'm a super mom, I'm a superwoman. You're not getting any trophies for that. Instead, let those blocks lie there. Tell the child, clean up your mess. Tell the child may take the whole day to remove that, and you might be tripping all over those toys and blocks, but doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Please believe me, parents, it goes a long way in teaching the child a sense of responsibility for her own action. She is the one who took out the toys. She is the one who puts back the toys. So I'm talking really young. Yeah. And it will carry on always in life later also. Right through, your child will be responsible for his or her own action. If he tried to cheat or copy in an exam, was caught, the child will own up. The child will learn honesty, integrity, responsibility for his or her own action. So I've jumped from toys to cheating in question answer papers, but there's a lot in between also, a lot that goes on in between. Teach your child to care and to share. The child doesn't have to care and share with only siblings or friends. The child must learn to share and care with all those who the child interacts with. For starters, parents, siblings, grandparents who are in the house. Child cannot grow up thinking, well, this is my space, and now suddenly Nani has come into this room also. Learn to share and care for the others. You're living in a society, and the family is a microcosm of the society. So teach your child to be having definitely self-worth, self-respect, but at the same time, an openness to share and care.
That's
And
right.
that will go a very long way into making him or her a very good human being. Because right through in life, you have to, if you're in your workplace, you have to be a team worker.
Right.
If you don't learn to share and care, you will be selfish. You will want all the laurels for yourself. The boss should think I'm the best. And your team gets ignored. Your team is dissatisfied with you, and you get isolated only because you are not with them. So, all these little lessons right through parenting, which you may call supportive parenting,
Correct.
actually will help your child to stand firm and tall on his or her own 2 feet.
I think,
And I'd like to end with a very cliched but very strong statement here that don't try to be a director of a play where you are reliving or replaying, reenacting your own childhood and your dreams through your child. Everybody talks of this, I'm sure, Kamalneet, you've heard it from many
this is it.
principals and every adult around, but we're all doing it, by the way. Knowingly, unknowingly, I couldn't become this. I have the resources now to give to my child, and I want my child to be this. And then it manifests as you're going to be this, you're going to study this. I have parents coming for class 11 admissions, PCM and B also thrown in. Now, let me tell for those uninitiated, P is physics, chemistry, M is math, B is bio. And you want all of it encompassed in that one brain of that one child who may or may not be inclined for that at all.
True.
Have you given your child the freedom to choose? The child may not be mature enough to decide, but the child is definitely adult enough to choose, make choices. And then the child will be responsible for his or her own choice also, by the way. So don't try to impose your own unfulfilled dreams onto your child's life. If you stop doing that for once and ask your child, rather show your child all the cards, lay all the cards down. It can be this, it can be this, it can be that. And all of it is fine by me. As long as you grow up into a happy, good human being.
I think it's you're weaving it very beautifully back to happiness and that definition. And I think what you said about the director's play that did hit home for me. That was a big point out there. And all the parents out there, it's a very humble appeal through this series, and that's one of the goals that if we can probably pick up one point which can be very crucial for our child, I think हम शायद उनके थ्रू जो हम नहीं कर पाए वो जीना चाह रहे हैं. That comes with a lot of anxiety, that comes with a lot of stress, that comes with a lot of pain at times, and that can come with losing their own goals in life. And I think, Madam, you have put it very, very nicely. And I would want to probably go back to what you said initially, pertaining to this one when we were talking about. But don't blame them and don't shame them. Don't label them, and work and probably figure out a way to probably genuinely praise them. I liked it because it has to be genuine. Praise them. And what you said about self-worth and self-esteem, I think all the parents out there, शायद ये हमारे लिए बहुत common use terms नहीं है. We don't use self-worth and self-esteem too commonly, but we can share this with you that when you build them in a way that their self-esteem grows, that definitely goes many, many, many years, not just years. I think it can have a trickle-down effect on the generations to come. So their self-esteem, how they look at themselves, has a lot to do with how you deal with them at home and otherwise. Madam, this is very beautifully put. I think an equation to I think I have this curiosity to put another equation there. I think.
Okay, go ahead. As long as I'll be able to understand it.
Yeah. I think how about if we look at this, that a healthy self-esteem leads to happiness, and then further happiness helps in building success. Yeah. So healthy self-esteem is very crucial out there, and parents, your praise, your support when they need definitely contributes to it. Now, madam, moving forward, we cannot, because the honest truth of the society also is that competition is increasing. Technology is coming in, at the same time it's helpful, but is also kind of making some changes which might not be very, very helpful. There's an early exposure of technology. Things are changing very fast. We're talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about robotics, we are talking about lots many things. And I think with all of this, competition is not stopping. Competition is only going to increase. Let's I think face the truth. All the parents out there, this is the truth. Competition is going to increase. So, what do you think? What skills should kids learn at an early age that will help them stand out in the real life, the way you call it?
So skills, I think I've already spoken about some of the skills that you would want your children to have, like taking responsibility for your own action, number one. And I've already explained that in great detail with examples. So you find your own answers over there, how you can make the child feel responsible. So don't do his work, let him do his own work. It may be a flattened or a sunken cake, but let him bake it. Secondly, I would say that you need to prepare your child for the future, which means you do not know what lies in the future. You do not know what the workforce of tomorrow is going to be. Just like you said, Kamalneet, technology coming in so much. Who would have dreamt 50 years ago that there will be a Zoom call interview happening or anything? We are sitting across a screen and talking as if we are there in person. So this could not have been imagined. So we don't know that even 10 years down the line, what are the children going to be doing as adults, young adults. So it's good to equip them with future skills, future ready skills. And the topmost on my list is communication. All right. A child needs to know how to communicate clearly, openly. So a lot is there in the unsaid word. A lot goes on happening in the child's mind, which the child either doesn't have the courage to talk about, or the child doesn't find the words to express. So we need to teach our children good, clear communication, which definitely does not mean very fancy words. It only means getting your message across, whether in writing or in the spoken, preferably in the spoken word. All right. Now, if you're a good communicator, more than half the battles in your life are won.
Parents, yeah, jot this down, highlight it, and probably fold it, keep it somewhere. Very crucial.
Very crucial. Yes, I agree. The second thing is problem solving. All these are cliched terms, Kamalneet, but I think they've come from somewhere, from having learned that so-and-so, this generation was ill-equipped. They were not problem solvers. They were not risk takers. Now, if you see, I have a phone in my hand and I go to my child, my own son, and I say, like I can order on Amazon, but I don't know how to cancel. Beta, just help me do this. Help me. Like here I can't. He says, what's wrong with you, Ma? This phone's interface is absolutely easy. Just to read. You think I was born with this knowledge? I wasn't. I just went ahead, clicked a few buttons, got it. I said, what if I click wrong? He says, the heavens are not going to fall again. All right. So take risk. And I learned that from my child. That's Gen Next.
That's
all
true.
right. And now Gen Alpha. God alone knows what they are going to be coming up with. So it's best that children should be equipped with skills of problem solving. So which means critically thinking and then being able to resolve an issue. So if there's a little fight also between your 8-year-old and your 10-year-old, don't jump into it to be the referee there.
Right.
All right.
I like
Let
the
them
term
resolve.
referee. I like the term referee there.
Yeah, don't referee. Oh, parents are always refereeing. Parents are helicoptering. Parents are everything but what they should be. They should be silently present there. Allow the growth to happen in your children. Allow it to happen. You're, of course, there as a mentor. God forbid there's a wrong turn. You can always bring your child back on the path. So these are things to watch out for. Don't be judgmental. Don't be a referee there, and equip them with skills of being not selfish, but self-reliant.
Yeah.
All right. So I think these are skills that children should definitely have.
Very, very, very crucial answers out there. All the parents out there, communication, because if you know everything and you're not able to put it across, doesn't serve any purpose. And problem solving is very crucial. In fact, you spoke about Amazon, and I was thinking, all these little conversations that would go in our head that we need to buy something, and itna dur jana padega, we'll have to go all the way there to get that stuff. I think somebody thought of a general problem out there that, people want to buy things, but they don't somehow want to either go, or probably they're not able to go. How about making things available at their place? I think somebody thought about, problems. And I think we had the Flipkarts and the Amazons and probably.
Yeah, those people solved those problems. They were problem solvers, and they're successful today, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Big time. Big time. And, all the food, all the tasty food that you would want to order from around the places, all the parents out there, jo tasty khana order ho raha hai, I think that's happening at the, just a click and the food is available. And I think somebody thought about it, that you really like a particular food, but you don't want to go out and travel, and the food is getting delivered to you today. I think these are big time problem solvers, and you're right in saying that very successful,
Yes.
and they're helping just all of us. And I won't shy away from telling you that the paneer tikka I ordered last night was very sumptuous, and that came through Swiggy as a platform.
Send some across the screen to me.
I wish, but yes, I think why not? We can always do.
Somebody will solve that problem also someday.
You never know what's going to happen in the future. Now, I think if parents get these ideas, I think they will, and if they implement it, it will really make a difference. However, students after these 2 years of pandemic, and they were probably, emotionally, there wasn't too much engagement. Socially, they were deprived. And there was so much which was happening inside of them, but they could not really put it across. And kids are, as you said, the generation alpha is in a very different direction. Not to say positive or negative, but their thinking is very different. Now, given a platform, assuming that it's a message for all the kids out there, sabhi bachon ke liye, what would be your key message to all the students out there?
Be yourself. I say this every day to my children, whether at assembly or at graduation day. Just be yourself. You are unique. You are special. Be yourself. Do not try to be a clone of anyone else. You have it in you to be someone someday. And that someone, if that someone has to be special, that someone cannot be someone else.
Anyone else? Yeah, very beautiful.
It can't be anyone else. So you have a uniqueness in you. Your uniqueness could be a dream that you have imagined that you're going to be this someday. Don't let anyone or anything come in the way except for your own incapabilities. Your own incapabilities only will come in the way of you achieving or following your dreams and your passions. Again, Kamalneet, all this is very cliched, but I'm telling you, it is very real, very real.
It is. It is.
Everybody has a dream, everybody has a passion, and it's societal pressures that come along the way that force you to change your path at times. But if you are yourself, your inherent person that you are, you have a thinking head, you have a feeling heart, and just follow what you want to do, what you want to be. We know the best of people who, having studied God alone knows how much and gotten all the degrees of the Stanfords of the world, and they've given it all up to probably become a skateboarder. All right. I'm just jumping from one end to the other end of the spectrum, but that's what it is.
True.
And if you want to be a trekker, trekking around the world, so be it. Why not? But remember, the means to that end should be through you, not through a so-called sponsoring uncle or dad. All right? So you want to achieve that, you work towards that, and be yourself.
Very, very, you started with, the moment I asked you this, you started with be yourself. And then this sandwich ended with, again, be yourself. But in between, the filling that you had filled in the sandwich was very powerful. And, I absolutely love the idea when you said that, people have done so many things in terms of degrees and whatnot. But I think when they kind of discovered who they really were and who they really are, I think they kind of got on the track and did what they always wanted to do. So all the students out there, all the parents out there, a message for your kids as well. You will have to allow them to be themselves. That allowance has to come from you as a parent, and all the kids out there. You've heard it from a very, very, very seasoned educator, that follow your heart. You got a thinking head and you got a feeling heart. Follow what you want to do, but do it by your own means. And that was a very powerful message.
Yeah, that should be underlined. Do it through your own means.
Yeah.
You can't say that I just want to be this, so I'm going there, Dad, and then now you sponsor me.
Correct. Very powerful messages. And all good conversations, they do come to an end. And but yes, what's important is that what we take away from the same is very crucial. So all the parents out there, first of all, I know that you would have made some notes, and a few things would have touched your heart. And they say that if we take a few points from a conversation and if we put them into action, the job is well done. And that's what our idea was. And Madam, thank you very much, not only for your time, not only for your presence, but for bringing in so pertinent points that not only touched the parents. While you were talking, I was reflecting. So I too had a great experience listening to you. Thank you for your time, and looking forward to many such conversations.
Thank you, Kamalneet. That was wonderful. Even, there's always a takeaway. I've learned a lot from you today as well. And thank you so much for having me on your show. And I wish you all the best.
Pleasure is all mine. Looking forward. Most welcome. Thank you.